So the federal heat just turned up on the super mayor, Tiffany Hayes. I'm sorry, the ex-super mayor. So not only the FBI is crawling through the finances of Dalton, but now they're storming into the Thornton Township like it's an episode of Narcos or something like that. And guess what? Even one of the cops are under the microscope. Officer William Reed, indicted for PPP fraud, who was allegedly a part of Tiffany's personal detail. So this circle just keeps getting smaller and smaller. Let's check it out right now.
The federal investigation into embattled South suburban politician Tiffany Hinyard is expanding.
Sources tell us tonight the FBI is now looking into how taxpayer money was handled in Thornton Township, where she's a supervisor, at least for a few more weeks. Hinyard has been a no-show for every Thornton meeting for months, and it was no different tonight. Our Jermont Terry is live in the South suburbs with what he's learned. Jermont?
Joe and Erica, tonight, multiple sources confirm that federal agents have in fact ventured here into Thornton Township. And in the past 3 weeks, they have talked to several current and former employees of the township, all talking about the spending associated with Hinyard's administration and her time as supervisor, a tenure which comes to an end in May.
So the feds aren't just peeking into Dalton anymore. They're taking a full tour of the Thornton Township like it's an open house for corruption. To be honest, I thought they were already doing that, but now I guess it's just more of an official notice that they're looking into everything. And what are they looking for? Obviously, misused taxpayer money, allegedly, right? The most sacred of local sins. When you mess with the people's money, that's when the real wolves come out. So here's the thing. This is not just a normal audit, right? This is federal agents pulling up, notepads out, talking to employees. That means that this isn't just maybe she just messed up a little bit. This is someone's about to catch a charge.
Any further discussion? If not, call roll, please.
Tuesday night, Thornton Township trustees carry on official business without the lame duck supervisor, Tiffany Hinyard. Despite Hinyard's term coming to an end next month, she remains MIA for her position.
I can't remember when the last time was.
Yet over the weekend, Hinyard did show her face to hand out food boxes to residents for the Easter holiday.
Thank you so much for loving on me. This is not the last of your super mayor, Tiffany Hinyard. I got bigger and better things coming.
There was a meeting yesterday. I did not stream it. I thought there was a good chance she was not going to show up, so I didn't bother to do so, and she didn't. So she has been a no-show for these meetings for quite some time. I would say since the brawl. Since the brawl happened, she was not going to show up for these meetings. And I still, in hindsight, as much as it helps content creators make some more money, it was a good idea. It was a big fight. How about she just leaves and the new administration should come in and they can fix whatever they need to fix, instead of her showing up, bringing in that kind of energy that's going to have another set of people getting in trouble. Kids there were elderly there. Like, let's stop this clown show and let her move on. But however, somehow she's able to find time to do the food box giveaway, get the photo ops, do the live streaming and all that type of thing. And that's her whole playbook. You dodge accountability, you pose with some groceries, repeat. Meanwhile, the feds are putting the pieces together behind the scenes. And this new probe connects back to Hinyard's time as supervisor for Thornton Township. It's not just one office under fire, it's every office she touches. Going back to Dalton, Officer Reed, now a cop facing multiple federal charges. Now, this officer was allegedly a part of Hinyard's security detail. Remember when she was able to have all these police officers follow her like she was the president, racking up over $1 million worth of police salary. This individual was playing a financial shell game straight out of American Greed. So this is 3 PPP loans, same fake play, 3 different rounds. He paid about, $5,800 in 2020 in June, $58 again in March 2021, and then again the same amount for May of 2021. That was a total of $17,584 for a business that, according to the tax filings, shouldn't have been qualified for a single dime. His security company, called Off Duty Security, was allegedly claiming payroll expenses like it was a Fortune 500 company. But according to the feds, his real 2019 income showed that his business was more ghost than legit. This man was allegedly cooking the numbers like a short order chef in a diner, just enough sizzle, but no real meat. And that doesn't stop there. The cherry on this fraud Sunday, this cop pulled in over $189,000 as a Dalton cop in 2022, yet didn't file a tax return. That's not just forgetful, that is straight up felony behavior. And in 2021, he tried to clean it up by underreporting his income to $49,000, which is basically saying, yeah, I only worked part-time. On top of that, when he filed for bankruptcy in 2022, this guy was not good with his money, clearly. he allegedly tried to hide the PPP loans from the court. True trifecta: fraud, perjury, tax evasion. This guy has more charges than a Best Buy on Black Friday. This ain't some slip up. This is a whole fraudulent lifestyle. And all while he was a part of Haynier's security team while doing it. That is just hilarious. So you know the feds are around. You know it's real when current and former employees start chirping. That means folks are going to jump ship, flipping like pancakes at IHOP, trying to get ahead of the fallout. And here's the most dangerous part for Haynier. The feds aren't just looking at one office. This is a cross-referencing from Dalton and Thornton. It's a web of corruption, not a coincidence, and you have a former cop now getting in trouble for PPP fraud. He may have some things to say about Tiffany Haynier that may save himself. So it is giving multi-agency indictment pending. This is what happens when local power gets unchecked for too long. You got a mayor that ghosted the village and supervisor, Township. She ghosted him to meetings for months, but magically reappears for Easter photo ops like she is the ghost of corruption present. She's out there act like she's still the people's champ. But the people she's really worried about wear suits and carry badges.
CBS News Chicago, through multiple sources, confirmed the feds have come into Thornton Township. The FBI was already looking into Dalton finances spending, and now the probe, according to sources, have spilled over into the township where Haynier was appointed. And remember that infamous township brawl when Haynier jumped in the middle? There's new fallout. The activist and his friend are now suing the township. The two fought with Haynier and her boyfriend, who was a township employee at the time. Tuesday night, the trustees voted to hire an attorney to represent the township.
At the time, she was a supervisor. She is the supervisor today. So once again, it's just to protect the township. You know, she still is, as of right now, part of the township.
So I guess we'll see what happens with that situation there. I'm surprised that there's not more charges being thrown out because multiple people were fighting. That may still happen. We'll see what happens with that situation. I mean, it was a complete embarrassing clown show. There were children there. There were elderly people there. Everyone should be ashamed of themselves. But that's how it works over there. And it's interesting, again, why is Keith Price still working there? The whole thing is a joke, but let's just continue. So when you think about the employees, imagine how messy it is for the feds to start talking to multiple people who all started spilling about that money. I'm sure they didn't talk about policies. They're talking about spending. That means that it's mismanagement, and it is loud and it's obvious. No one's going to rat over office gossip. This is likely illegal fund allocation, phantom expenses, and possible even kickbacks. So talking about that Dalton officer, Reed, one of her security guys, right, who was living a double life doing PPP fraud while on her payroll, that could tie her name into even more dirt. Now you see the lawsuits continue to fly. Everyone's getting lawsuits. Everyone's suing each other. The people who are suing are the same ones who are physically fighting Tiffany Haynier. This is a silly, ridiculous nonsense. And then now just voted to bring in a lawyer, not to defend her, but to defend the township for her mess. So you know when it's bad, when your own board is like, we're not going down with you like the Titanic. We're going to start hiring attorneys to block the lawsuit that she caused while she's technically in office. Completely wild, even if it's only for a couple of weeks.
So here in Thornton Township, when an elected official misses 5 consecutive meetings, they have the authority to somewhat remove and start the process, remove that person from office. However, because she only has 1 meeting left, Haynier, that is, they're questioning as to whether or not it's even worth it at this point. But one thing that is moving forward, that federal probe where federal agents are currently talking to past and current employees.
And that's even crazy. Even with all the nonsense debating whether it's worth the trouble to remove her with just 1 meeting left. I mean, she's so close to being gone, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to boot her out. I mean, let's not forget, she is being investigated by the feds right now. Her own people are flipping. Her boyfriend's throwing hands in the township meetings. She's throwing hands in township meetings, and she's out there talking about there's going to be bigger and better things coming. Like she's launched her own skincare line. It's beyond corruption at this point. It's basically delusion. We'll see exactly what happens in this situation. I think she's going to get hit with some kind of federal charge. Who knows who else is going to fall into the mix, who else is being investigated, who may have done some things wrong as well. We'll see whether there are going to be more charges based on that Thornton Township fight. Multiple people are fighting. There should be multiple charges. It couldn't just be Krigley. Yeah, Krigley got in trouble, but there should be more charges with that fight. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comments below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.